Hello, everyone, and welcome to this important update from USA Secure Benefits, where we are committed to delivering clear, accurate information on matters that directly impact your financial security and well-being, especially for those relying on fixed incomes such as Social Security retirees, SSI recipients, SSDI beneficiaries, widows and widowers, VA recipients, disabled Americans, caregivers, and anyone depending on timely payments to cover essentials like rent, groceries, medications, and overall peace of mind. Today we are addressing a critical breaking alert regarding the final January deposit approvals for seniors, and it is essential to emphasize from the outset that this information is tailored specifically for individuals in these categories who count on these funds arriving without unnecessary delays. We have thoroughly reviewed the official guidance from the Social Security Administration, the U.S. Treasury Payment Release Framework, and the established banking settlement timelines to provide you with a straightforward explanation, eliminating the need for you to navigate these complex documents yourself. Our objective here at USA Secure Benefits is to dispel confusion, alleviate anxiety, and clearly outline what has been confirmed, what remains unconfirmed, and the appropriate actions you should or should not take at this moment. If you are new to our channel, we strongly recommend subscribing as we regularly post updates of this nature, always presented in plain, accessible English to ensure everyone can understand without jargon or complexity. While you are here, feel free to comment with your city and state, as this not only helps us gauge where our audience is tuning in from, but also fosters a sense of community, reminding viewers that they are not isolated in their concerns. It is crucial not to disengage at this point, as the core of this update lies in the detailed explanations ahead, where we will delve into the reasons why some payments appear precisely at midnight, why others do not, and importantly, why none of these variations indicate any fault on your part. To set the context, let us first discuss why this update is particularly relevant right now and why many individuals have been experiencing heightened anxiety in recent days. We are currently at the tail end of January, a period that involves the processing of final payment batches, end-of-month settlements, banking cutoff times, and in certain instances, the finalization of call-adjusted amounts into accounts. For numerous seniors and others on fixed incomes, this deposit represents far more than a routine transaction. It is the vital funds needed for rent, groceries, co-payments, and the fundamental difference between a restful night and one filled with worry. We have observed numerous comments and concerns circulating, such as reports of Friday night payments being delayed, instances where a neighbor received their deposit while another did not, online claims suggesting approvals were retracted, and fears that something might be amiss with personal accounts. At USA Secure Benefits, we hear these concerns loud and clear, and we want to address them gently but firmly. Much of the fear stemming from online discussions arises from a lack of understanding about the underlying system mechanics. Therefore, allow us to clarify the actual processes at play, as we recognize the understandable confusion many are facing. The Social Security Administration initiates the process by releasing payment files to the U.S. Treasury, which then disperses those funds into the broader banking system, after which individual banks determine the exact posting times. This sequence, particularly when occurring on a Friday leading into a weekend, is the primary source of the current discrepancies and resulting uncertainty. It is important to note that this does not represent an abrupt policy shift, a reduction in benefits, or any error on the recipient's side. In theory, the procedure appears straightforward. The SSA authorizes the January payments, the Treasury releases them, and banks post them accordingly. However, in practice, it often feels more complicated due to the interplay of various operational layers. The SSA adheres to specific authorization schedules, the Treasury follows batch processing windows, and banks apply their own posting policies, which can differ significantly between institutions. Consequently, even after a payment has been approved and released, it may not materialize at the identical moment for all recipients. Certain banks opt to post funds immediately upon receiving a pending file, while others delay until an overnight settlement, frequently around midnight, and some may even hold until the subsequent business day, especially over weekends. This variability creates the gaps that lead to anxiety, but it is imperative to understand that such gaps are inherent to the system's design rather than indicative of individual shortcomings. We pause here to underscore that the information we are sharing at USA Secure Benefits is grounded in reliable sources, not speculation, rumors, or unsubstantiated social media posts. It draws directly from a comprehensive understanding of how the SSA's authorization processes, the Treasury's disbursement mechanisms, and banks' settlement systems interconnect. By grasping these interactions, the associated fears begin to diminish, as it becomes evident that delays do not equate to denials, and temporary silences do not signal underlying issues. Thus far, we have covered the significance of this Friday midnight alert, the sensitivity of January's timing, and the distinctions between official policies and real-world payment behaviors. Moving forward, we will provide a thorough technical breakdown of how these January deposits function, including details on midnight postings, bank-specific behaviors, and which groups typically experience deposits first, ensuring you remain fully informed without having missed any key points. There is no need for panic. We at USA Secure Benefits are here to guide you through this step by step. Now, transitioning to the technical aspects, we will maintain simplicity in our explanations to make them accessible. Social Security payments adhere to a well-defined calendar. If benefits commenced before May 1997, payments are generally scheduled earlier in the month, whereas for those starting after that date, they typically occur on Wednesdays aligned with birth dates. January, however, introduces unique challenges, as the SSA often transmits final payment files late in the week, and when this coincides with a Friday, the Treasury's release prompts banks to make decisions on posting, either immediately if early posting is supported or held for overnight settlement, potentially delaying until the next business day. This explains the phenomenon where some individuals observe a midnight deposit, while others encounter it later. Additionally, call adjustments can influence timing, as revised amounts require complete settlement prior to posting, and Medicare deductions may necessitate extra verification steps. Furthermore, any offsets, even temporary ones, can extend posting by hours rather than weeks, all of which constitute standard system operations. Before proceeding, it is vital to acknowledge the diversity among recipients, as not all situations fit into uniform categories. Some are widows or widowers, others receive both SSI and SSDI. Some are disabled adult children. Certain individuals combine VA benefits with Social Security, and others have representative payees, all of which can subtly affect deposit posting times and methods. In the following segment, we will meticulously dissect these variations to help you discern how they might pertain to your circumstances, providing clarity without alarm. Continuing our discussion at USA Secure Benefits, let us now address these eligibility edge cases with care, as they often fuel unwarranted fears. For widows and widowers, survivor benefits are still classified under Social Security, but may process through a distinct internal record, particularly if recent adjustments, verifications, or changes occurred earlier in the year, potentially resulting in postings that lag by a few hours compared to others, though not by days or weeks. In the case of disabled adult children, commonly referred to as DAC, benefits are linked to a parent's record, which does not diminish the payment amount or introduce instability, but can lead banks to handle the file differently, thereby impacting posting times during Friday releases. For SSI recipients who are part of couples, payments are issued as combined household benefits, prompting some banks to await full confirmation before posting, again highlighting that this is a banking procedure rather than an eligibility flaw. When individuals receive both SSI and SSDI, these represent two separate programs, and although they typically arrive concurrently most months, one might appear as pending ahead of the other without implying that either has been halted. For those collecting VA benefits alongside Social Security, there is no inherent penalty or reduction for dual receipt, yet households with multiple programs frequently note varied posting times, especially toward month's end. Moreover, if a representative payee is involved, banks might allocate additional time to verify the account holder prior to overnight deposits, a measure intended for protection rather than punishment, which can be frustrating but does not signify denial of the January payment. These scenarios merely illustrate why timings may differ and do not suggest any disruption to approved payments. Shifting focus, let us debunk some prevalent online rumors that have been circulating, such as assertions that Friday midnight payments were canceled, that the SSA retracted approvals, that January deposits are on hold, or that failure to receive by midnight means no payment will arrive. None of these reflect the operational reality. In truth, there has been no official announcement from the SSA canceling January payments, no Treasury directive to freeze deposits, and no alterations to eligibility criteria. Instead, what we are witnessing is a routine end-of-month release window intersecting with bank-specific posting policies and the transition from Friday into the weekend. Rumors tend to proliferate amid fear, but at USA Secure Benefits, we prioritize facts over apprehension, aiming to substitute understanding for anxiety. To elucidate the banking perspective in straightforward terms, once the U.S. Treasury releases funds, banks receive them and independently determine availability timelines. The SSA cannot compel early postings, override weekend holds, or dictate internal bank schedules, which accounts for why a neighbor might receive funds sooner, why someone in a different state sees it earlier, why a pending deposit displays but remains unavailable, or why an anticipated midnight deposit shifts to morning. Banks also manage weekend settlements variably, with some posting on Friday night and others deferring to Monday morning, both practices being permissible and not targeted at individuals. If you find yourself still awaiting your deposit, the first step is to remain calm, as the SSA employs a 3-business-day rule where weekends and holidays are excluded from the count. Only after 3 full business days should you access your MySSA account to verify direct deposit details and, if necessary, prepare to contact the SSA with your Social Security number, bank name, expected payment date, and any recent changes. Premature calls can often heighten stress without yielding resolutions. Beyond the mechanics, it is worth speaking candidly. This is not merely about digital transactions, but real-life necessities like groceries, rent, utilities, medications, coping with inflation, managing solitude, and enduring quiet nighttime worries. You have earned your benefits through hard work and contributions, deserving dignity and transparency rather than obscurity and dread. Feeling anxious does not denote weakness, it reflects humanity, and you are not navigating this solo. Here's a practical checklist to follow. Log into your MySSA account to confirm direct deposit information, monitor for distinctions between pending and available balances, review any Medicare deductions, check eligibility for programs like QMB, SLMB, or QI, explore extra help for prescriptions, and consider SNAP or LIHEAP if relevant. Additionally, remember that the SSA never issues threats via phone nor requests gift cards or wire transfers. Proceed deliberately, one action at a time. Looking forward, it is realistic to anticipate potential additional overnight postings, though not assured, as timings hinge on SSA authorizations, Treasury releases, and bank behaviors. If any developments arise, USA Secure Benefits will promptly inform you. We appreciate your trust in allocating time to this update. If it has been beneficial, please comment affirmatively, share your state, or indicate interest in further SSA-related content by typing SSA. We encourage subscribing and sharing this with others who may be experiencing similar concerns. And above all, prioritize your self-care while recognizing your resilience in these matters. To further reinforce the key elements discussed, let us revisit the foundational processes. The Social Security Administration's role in authorizing payments ensures that funds are earmarked correctly based on established schedules. And for those whose benefits predated May 1997, the earlier monthly positioning provides a degree of predictability, whereas post-1997 recipients align with birth date-based Wednesdays. Yet January's end-of-month dynamics introduce the Friday release complexities that amplify timing variances. The Treasury's batch processing is a critical intermediary step, handling the dispersal in structured windows that align with federal guidelines. But the ultimate posting rests with banks whose policies on immediate versus delayed settlements create the observed disparities, particularly over weekends when non-business days interrupt standard flows. This system, while efficient on a large scale, can feel impersonal and erratic at the individual level, but understanding it demystifies the anxiety. Delays are procedural, not punitive. For specific groups, such as widows and widowers, the slight processing differences stem from survivor benefit records that may require additional internal checks, especially post-adjustments, leading to minor hour-based lags that resolve naturally without intervention. Similarly, disabled adult children benefits tied to parental records maintain full integrity but interact uniquely with bank systems, potentially shifting Friday postings slightly. SSI couples combined benefits necessitate comprehensive bank confirmations, ensuring accuracy over speed, while dual SSI and SSDI recipients might notice asynchronous pending statuses that are temporary and benign. VA and Social Security combinations operate without reductions, though multi-program coordination can vary postings near month end, and representative payees add protective verification layers that extend times marginally for safety. None of these factors alter approval statuses. They merely contextualize timing nuances. Addressing rumors again, claims of cancellations or holds lack substantiation, as no official communications support them. Instead, the interplay of release windows and bank policies explains the variations, and replacing misinformation with knowledge empowers recipients. On the banking front, the autonomy and fund availability post-Treasury release underscores why experiences differ geographically or institutionally, with weekend treatments varying between immediate Friday night posts and Monday morning releases, both compliant with regulations. For those waiting, adhering to the 3-business-day guideline prevents unnecessary stress, and when checking My SSA, focus on verifying details calmly. This human element, where payments fund life's essentials amid economic pressures, merits compassion, and our checklist promotes proactive yet measured steps. Account logins for confirmations, balance monitoring, deduction reviews, program eligibility checks like QMB or SLMB or QI, prescription aid explorations, and supplemental resources such as SNAP or LIHEAP, all while vigilance against scams reinforces security. Future postings remain possible overnight, dependent on the same systemic factors, and USA Secure Benefits stands ready for updates. Your engagement through comments and subscriptions strengthens this community, fostering shared support in navigating these vital matters with clarity and calm. Expanding on the anxiety alleviation, recognizing that system gaps are not personal failures shifts perspectives, empowering individuals to focus on controllable actions rather than unfounded worries. The SSA's structured calendar provides reliability, but January's timing sensitivities highlight the need for patience during late-week releases, where bank choices dictate outcomes. Call adjustments and Medicare steps add layers but ensure accuracy, while offsets resolve quickly. Edge cases like survivor benefits or DAC linkages introduce minor variances without compromising entitlements, and combined programs or payees prioritize protection. Rumors dissipate under factual scrutiny, revealing normal operations, and banking independence explains neighbor discrepancies. Waiting strategies emphasize breathing room and time checks, with prepared information for any contacts. Heartfelt acknowledgement of the real impacts, financial strains and emotional tolls, validates experiences, and the checklist offers tangible guidance. Forward-looking variability persists, but knowledge equips better. At USA Secure Benefits, we value your time and trust, inviting ongoing interaction for collective benefit. To deepen comprehension, consider the authorization to posting pipeline. SSA's file releases initiate, Treasury's disbursements facilitate, banks' policies finalize, creating potential midnight successes or slight deferrals, all standard. For pre-1997 beneficiaries, early scheduling aids, post-1997 Wednesday alignment structure. Yet Friday-January dynamics test flexibilities, adjustments settle routinely, deductions verify efficiently, offsets pass hourly, widows' records check discreetly, DAC ties handle uniquely, SSI couples confirm holistically, dual programs penned separately, VA integrations time variably, payees verify protectively, timings differ, approvals hold, unfounded claims of pullbacks ignore absences of directives, emphasizing routine over alarm. Bank receptions lead to availability decisions, weekend spans allow ranges, neighbor variances stem institutionally, calm waits precede account verifications, calls follow preparations. Beyond numbers, dignity prevails amid hardships, anxiety humanizes, community supports. Checklist steps, logins confirm, balances distinguish, deductions review, eligibilities check. QMB, SLMB, QI helps explore, resources consider, snap, LIHEAP, scams avoid. Postings may overnight, changes update via USA secure benefits. Comments affirm, states share, subscriptions enable, sharings help. Care sustains resilience. Reiterating, system understanding eases fears. Delays signify processes not problems. Silences temporary not terminal. Calendar adherence guides, January trickiness navigates with knowledge. Technical breakdowns simplify, releases Friday. Settlements overnight or business, postings bank dependent. Groups vary, survivors lag hours, DACs file differently, couples await full, duals penned async, VAs time distinctly, payees verify extra, rumors refute factually, no cancellations announced, no freezes directed, no rules changed. Banking plain, funds received, availability decided, SSA non-forcing. Waiting, breathe, 3 days rule, my SSA check, details verify, calls prepare, heart to heart, essentials funded, contributions honored, dignity deserved, anxiety valid, alone not. Checklist practical, account access, deposit confirm, pending watch, Medicare review, programs, QMB, SLMB, QI, prescription extra, snap LIHEAP if, scams never. Ahead, postings possible, timings dependent, updates promised, trust thanks, help comment yes, state type, SSA more, subscribe share, caretake, got you've.